Hi, everybody. Welcome to Interesting AF or Interesting as Fuck, depending on if your children have been home all week because of a snowstorm. I mean, I don't just, that could be happening to some people.
Just some people.
Just some people. Oh my God. But yeah, so that is what is happening over on the East Coast. Some of us are some regions are less able to get
Cope.
cope with snow or ice. I think this is ice. I heard a snowstorm name for it, the Great Encasement, which I like. I think
Yes, that's very, very true. Because like
we are
the stuff we got, like our son was very upset because he couldn't make a snowman or a snowball because when you tried to put everything together, it was like silica, like tiny little beads, right? So like nothing, like sand, like nothing stuck together. It was all just ice, and so we're gonna have this shit till April. I'm convinced because we're waking up every morning in single degree temperatures Fahrenheit for our U.S. friends here.
Yeah, and I think that's what is that's what we're seeing, and we will be we'll be digging out for a while. So
and I think our documentary, this is a Doc is In episode.
Yes. Thank you for the segue. Again, I've had children at home for 5 days. My brain is not well.
But also, like, the documentary we did was in honor of the upcoming big game.
Yes.
Since we can't use the actual name, otherwise we'll get in trouble. But it was helpful as well because we're freezing our fucking asses off.
Our asses off.
I hate using a space heater because it makes me anxious that it's immediately going to blow up and I'm going to spontaneously human combust.
Of course.
But it's been running every single day for like 8 hours a day because it's fucking freezing. And we spent most of the storm without heat on our sleeping level of our house.
Right, exactly. And we looked like geniuses because we happened to have like a heating inspection the Friday before the storm happened. And I told the guy, I was like, we're not geniuses. It just happened to like work out this way. And it was just like really funny because he was like, okay.
Like, cool.
He was like, I don't care. Like, I don't give a shit. It's like, I was trying to be funny, dude. I was trying to connect with you.
But we traveled mostly to Puerto Rico for this documentary, a little bit into the Dominican Republic. We got some Colombia,
yes,
other places. But we chose, in honor of the big game, which really to me is just the halftime show, we chose the 4-part docuseries, which in the U.S. is streaming on Peacock, and I think it's a Peacock exclusive. So this is really
It is. It wasn't anywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a 4-part docuseries about reggaeton, which is one of my favorite genres of music. She says, as a non-Spanish speaking white chick. I had watched this like on a flight before, and I thought it was good because, it had some heavy undertones to it because the history of reggaeton has some rough patches, as does the history of most genres of music. Mm-hmm. But it was just light. I understand people like and dislike different types of genres of music. I am not a jazz fan, much to my husband's chagrin. I know, I don't like, I'm just not. I love Jean-Baptiste. There are certain songs I like. There's certain types of jazz that I'm okay with, but like,
would you call Jean-Baptiste jazz? I feel like 100%. He's like more of like an amorphous dude that's like hanging out.
Sure, but he if you've oh god, I don't know if we can do this one, but have you seen
symphony?
His American Symphony? Yeah, I can't.
Chills, crying the whole time. We should do that one though.
We should.
Oh my god. I think we should do that one next as a Doc is In, given that we were linking to music and I think it's talking about America.
I'm sorry.
Yes, you don't
No,
have to.
it's perfect.
I feel like we need to celebrate America in all its glory, and I think that is a documentary that really embodies that for me.
No, I like it. Let's do it.
Okay.
But John Batiste would absolutely consider himself jazz, whether or not he's like still that one category now, probably not.
Yeah.
But all of his origins are in jazz.
Yeah.
But I don't know how anybody hears a reggaeton song and doesn't at least like shimmy the bop the shoulder a little bit.
Yeah.
Like every time any of the beat of any of the music came on, I mean, I literally was moving something, if not my entire body.
Of course.
So this is the history of reggaeton, which really goes back only about 30 years into there's most people could say it kind of started in the mid 80s, but really it got its start in the early mid 90s. In Puerto Rico, New York has a huge influence on that because, as many people are aware, there are more Puerto Ricans in New York than there are in Puerto Rico.
Yep.
So very much like hip hop, like New York is the epicenter outside of Puerto Rico, which, by the way, is not outside of the United States. Just want to reiterate that point.
It is part of the United States. It's not considered a state, but Puerto Ricans are U.S. citizens. Everybody.
Yes, they are. And so it really goes into the history of it. And I think one of my favorite things was, I don't know all the artists in it, but like, as someone who, like, I've seen Daddy Yankee in concert. It is one of the most fun concerts I've ever been to. I listen to a lot of reggaeton. I really do. But I still, like, I didn't know the really early stuff, although a lot of people in this documentary points out that, like, Gasolina, which I will get into that song in a minute, is what made it a global sensation.
And I love how that was my what the fuck moment, because essentially that came out of him going, my songs are being pirated, they're being leaked. I need to work with different producers and different people. That's like, that for me, that was my what the fuck moment, because I was like, that song, oh my God, how many times we dance in a bar or
on a bar.
Yes, on bars.
That is my dancing song.
Yes.
Like, that is what everyone who went to college with me and knows me knows that is my bar dancing song. It's one of the first songs I put on our wedding playlist.
Nice.
Because I don't care how many people we had, you know, our parents' age or older, I don't care. Like, this is our wedding. If my friends left my wedding and Gasolina had not been played, they would have been like, "Are you okay? Are you
like, should we set up an intervention?
Yeah,
like, is
everything okay? Were you forced against your will to, like, not song?" But obviously, it was one of the first songs we put on. I mean, I had like Nicky Jam and J Balvin on our wedding playlist too, because, like, I wanted a dance party at our wedding, and that's exactly what we got. And yes, it also included the Grateful Dead. Like, we had a mix of everything, but reggaeton was a staple of our wedding playlist as well. Yeah. It's fascinating, especially when you just think about, like, it is similar to hip hop. It is similar to other genres of music, but the parallels to hip hop are just undeniable. Starting literally in, like, studio apartments, not recording studios, starting in studio apartments in the barrio in Puerto Rico, like, to filling arenas and now playing the fucking halftime show.
And, you know, and I think to be thinking about the popularity, because Gasolina was what, in mid 2000s? 2005, right? So mid 2000s, and then we are 2026. That is 20 years later, right?
Yep.
That song was everywhere, and Daddy Yankee and all these artists have been, like, all over the place for a long time.
Yeah.
And I think it's the history, I like what this documentary does. Like, it always has the background of the violence, the money involved, the government like trying to censor, the government trying to like, link reggaeton to crime. And we're not saying that like there aren't some like we don't know, right? Like the documentary kind of skirts through that. It doesn't really kind of link anybody to anything. It does, I mean, that not that I saw, maybe that's just me. But I think it's very interesting that like you see these patterns happen over and over with like subversive underground art, right? You have that with Banksy. Like we had that with like we saw that with the Banksy movement, like all the artists that were doing that type of art, hip hop, rap, and reggaeton. And I really liked how the undercurrent of that was really great. But in the end, the only reason why Bad Bunny is the halftime show is because he pulled $1 billion in Puerto Rico, on in his residency, right? Like this is there are some, there's been like a lot of discussion around around this, like, halftime show about, whether he's American or not. That's not the story. The story is this is a purely financial decision.
He's the most streamed artist on Spotify for the 4th year, not in a row, but between, actually, I think it's 2022, 2023, and 2025. So maybe it's 3 years. He's the most streamed artist on Spotify. So anyone who wants to come at him or at Jay-Z, who organizes the big game halftime show and has for the last several years, and I think has another 2 years after this, you're insane. Like, read, just look it up. He is the most popular artist in the fucking world right now. Who else would you want to have played the biggest sporting event in the United States?
Well, they tried Taylor Swift, supposedly, if you accept the rumors.
Which, of course, like everyone would have been, every NFL fan would have been pissed about that too, I'm sure. But who gives a shit?
Yeah,
not all of them.
But I think that's the thing with the NFL, and I think they're really smart about it. And I think they use Taylor Swift. Sorry, this is like but they use these types of things to bring more people to watch. Like,
of course,
we shouldn't like, and I think this is the danger. While social media is great, this is the danger that we think that all these people that are outraged are outsize the amount of people that actually want to listen to this and want to.
But clearly not.
Clearly not. Like they don't outsize it, and that's why I think. Because otherwise the NFL would have backed off. They would have been like, okay, well, this doesn't.
They wouldn't have approved it.
They wouldn't have approved it.
Also, exactly. I would like to point out that this will not be the first time that Bad Bunny has been in the halftime show of the game. Yes. He was featured when J-Lo and Shakira performed in February of 2020. He was up there with J Balvin. They were fucking incredible. And like, I'm so again, like I don't speak Spanish. I know every word to most Daddy Yankee songs. I am currently very close to knowing most lyrics to at least the entire new album of Bad Bunny, which is a 10 out of 10, by the way.
Yeah.
But I am just so fucking excited for this show because the music is just so good. And so Linda made it through 3 of the 4 episodes.
Yes, I did. I did not watch all of it.
It's okay. Kids were home all week. We still work full time. This is real life. This is how it happens. The best part is this came out in 2024. So the final like sequence of it really is talking about how Bad Bunny is the next big thing for reggaeton, for Latin music, for all of these things. And he looks like, even this is just 2 years ago, and he looks like such a little baby in it. He is changing things. He's like bending what is reggaeton, which is like so funny because it's such a young genre when you think about it in the grand scheme of things. But it's so great because they have no idea, because we didn't know until September of last year that he was the halftime show.
Yep.
So like, it's amazing to finish that documentary being like, listen, we all see it. This is the next guy. This is the guy who's like the next big thing. And now he's the most streamed artist on Spotify. He is playing the biggest show in the United States. And even like for me personally, listen, I'm at an age where like I'm not interested in new music. I don't go seeking it. Like there might be a song here and there, like Lady Gaga's Abracadabra, when that came out, I was like, God damn, this is so good. I'm listening to this 100 times over, but I just don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
I have listened to Bad Bunny's new album like 100 times. And on it, it has given me like my Gasolina replacement. Not that anything could ever replace Gasolina, but like Daddy Yankee is retired, which pains me to my core.
Yeah.
If he comes out, and I'm all over the place because I'm just so excited. But I've said this to Linda before. I've said it to many people. If Daddy Yankee comes out in the halftime show, I will death drop to the floor.
Oh my God. Wouldn't that be awesome?
My mind.
I feel like
I hope he does, but
I feel like he's going to come. Like there's no way.
He's like so retired though. He seems like so over it. Also, like he's got so much money. Like he's just, the last scene of this documentary is him in that like beautiful gold filigree like silk shirt on his yacht. And
yeah, I mean, I think, and I think we did, like, one of the things that we should remember, these people have had hard lives. Like it's not like, you know, it's exactly like, you know, and I don't necessarily like, and I didn't get to the Bad Bunny part, so I don't know much about him. I just know his music. Like I didn't, you know, there's like rumors about him wearing a dress during the halftime show, which is awesome. But like, I was like, wait, is he gay? Like, is he a drag queen? Like, I don't know anything about him. Right. And so I think that's kind of one of the things that I really liked about this documentary is it really delved into, you know, the really kind of specifics of their lives and how that shaped their music, how that shaped, you know, how they engaged with each other. And, you know, also engaged with each other. I really did like how they talked about, you know, conflicts, but like in the end, they were all working together. Like they did have like an objective, like to work together to like get this music out because they really like loved it.
Rising tides.
Exactly. And I think also the concept of how they really thought about how they work together in order to propagate the music further, because they knew if you heard Daddy Yankee and you really loved it, you were going to be like, let's me listen to other ones so I can like, you know, work on, you know, my music or listen to somebody else. So I really like that.
Because it's also like reggaeton has a very noticeable, repetitive beat to it. Like it's not reggaeton without the drums. It's not reggaeton without the bass. Like if you hear that, like, you know, like one of very few genres that the rest of that song will be. And I fucking love it. So they didn't go into too much of like Bad Bunny's background. They were more just speaking to him as like kind of the future of reggaeton. But it's totally true. And actually, like my lovely hat says, ask me about our Lord and Savior Bad Bunny. So to answer your questions, he is not gay. He's not a drag queen, but he is a massive LGBTQ plus ally, like massive. So much so he's going to be a part of Pride Trivia this year. So
at least maybe this time I'll like crack the top 5. I was so, like, God, there was like a part where it was like, I'm going to win it. And then you went back to like a Drag Race and I was like, damn it. Like, I mean,
you should just watch it.
It was my fault. Like,
19 seasons now.
I have so much to watch. I mean, it's like so, like, you know,
but
it's
Drag
like,
Race is so joyful.
I know.
It's
but I'm like,
it's so good mood stuff. It's the best.
I know it is. I've seen like parts of it, and like I've seen like how hilarious it is. But like, it's just more of these things that like it's difficult for me to watch. Things I'm more like reader. I'm more of a reader. But in any case, what I really liked about, you know, the first couple of like things were like just the similarities to like rap and things like that were just wild to me, right? Like I think the concept of, you know, the social determinants of crime
Yeah.
And how like it was about like poverty, right? They didn't care about why certain people were going into the drug trade or anything like that. They were like, oh, we're gonna, just decimate these populations, but they didn't actually go to the source, right? They were like, they weren't thinking about, I'm sorry, I'm going to nerd out, but I think the concept was like they did not think about what it meant to push these drug dealers out, because all it did was like move them across the island. It was concentrated. You could have like focused on, de-escalation, thinking about, finding different ways for people to generate income, different things, but they went to this. And unfortunately, like, a lot of these people's parents, cousins, friends were caught in the crossfire, which is what
Some of the artists.
Yeah, all the artists, right? And I think the concept of like them using reggaeton to rebel, like at first, like it feels like they were talking about their lives and like the violence, but then the topic started to get it like more joyful, right? Like where we get grinding from is like reggaeton, like that's where it started. Like it's not, and I was like, oh damn, like that was another what the fuck moment. But my what the fuck moment was Gasolina out of Piracy, because I was like, man, LimeWire, like it was like,
damn right. Well, that's the other thing is for them to reach the absolute global stardom they did, the way they explained that was so, I think for those of us who didn't live it, or actually those of us who did, who didn't realize the impact that it had, right? Because we all had LimeWire and Napster, and like we grew up, we were the perfect age when that stuff came out. We were like, what do you mean I can just download these songs? Like nobody can for 20 minutes. I need Gasolina.
And the law hasn't caught up yet. Oh my God. You know what I used to do? I used to drive my dad insane, because I have a propensity, and I'm sorry, this is horrible. And my roommate in Paris, like I destroyed an artist for her because I kept listening to his album over and over and over again. She's like, I cannot listen. It's okay. And this is really, I mean, we're talking about reggaeton. It was Josh Groban, and there was like a melody of
I fucking love Josh Groban. Josh is hysterical, by the way.
Hysterical. But I ruined him for her because I kept playing that album. It was the album with the red cover. Like the one where he was like, yeah. So it was like, it really like, it was just like, it defined, it wasn't like all Italian or like whatever, but it really defined Paris for me that year. But she was like, I cannot listen to him anymore without wanting to throw up. So thanks for that. So what I would do was like with the LimeWire or whatever, I would like download, but I would play like whatever I had downloaded. And like for 20 minutes, my dad is like, I'm going to throw your computer out. Stop it. Like the song isn't full. I don't need to listen to the first 30 seconds over and over and over again until I poke my eyes out. Please don't. And so
it would take 30 minutes to download one song was fast.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was nuts. Like I remember it vividly when we were doing all of that in very early 2000s.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was interesting to like hear them explain like how confused they were, because they were like, all of a sudden no one was buying our CDs, yet more and more people across the world were hearing us. And then of course they realized it's because of piracy, and people are downloading albums on Napster or LimeWire, any of these services. Not services, websites, right? None of us paid for them. That's literally the definition of piracy. And then they would burn hundreds of CDs and sell them to their friends and in the street. And so like these teenagers were making money off of selling the albums because they had burned them from illegally downloaded music. So that was really interesting. And for them to then, be able to sell out arenas and all of that. And I think that's in the 2000s. And this is someone who has gone to live music my whole life and clearly love it very much. I'll see just about anybody. I do feel like in the late 90s, early 2000s, like, of course there was touring and everything, but I think for a long time, album sales were how people were making their money. until all piracy. And then people were like, we got to go back out on tour because and now like it's these massive world tours. Obviously we see Taylor Swift, we see Bad Bunny in Puerto Rico. Like we see these the Sphere, right? Like I could spend an hour talking about the Sphere. We notice, like there are these incredible arena tours now, or bands that are incredibly successful, just selling out like these old historic theaters in all major cities, Warner Theater in DC, Beacon Theater in New York, like all of these incredible, like touring is where the money is now, especially with streaming and all that. And no one's really selling albums. They're selling songs. That like, there was this like boom back into, if there was an artist you wanted to see that went on, like they were going on tour because that's where they had to go back to make money. So it was interesting for that part. So my what the fuck moment was, because I don't think I ever gave two thoughts to where the word reggaeton came from.
Yeah.
But it's the combination of the words reggae and marathon.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I fucking love that. I just love that.
I mean, yeah, it's our marathon year. By the way, I have my marathon in like fucking March, and I have not.
You're half, right?
Cold, yeah, half? It's so cold outside. I cannot run on a treadmill. I cannot run. First of all, cannot run on a treadmill. Number two, I can't run outside because it's too fucking cold.
Ice. It's even the ice. It's not even the cold. There's
but I think now we can. Yeah, we can run on like the street, so it's not too bad. Like if you don't have to run on,
you got this. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
But yeah, I think.
But yeah, I like that part. And then just the history of any genre of music, I'm always interested in hearing about. So
yeah, and I loved the hearkening to like that, the drum beats and a lot of these things that are like all in this is like the historical kind of culmination of, you know, people's reaction to kind of colonization and, you know, obviously the genocide that happened all over Latin, North America, South America, when the Europeans came, right? So I think to a certain degree, I think there's a lot of like full circle moment. Where it's like they're colonizing with music and it's an idea, as opposed to like they're kind of coming back,
literally conquering people.
And I think that's why people are getting so annoyed, because they're like, but wait, in all of history we don't hear about them, and then all of a sudden we're hearing about them again. We kind of like dealt with it, right? And I think in the end, that's what a lot of people that don't understand change and progress, they're like, you cannot really, really kill an idea ever. Like no matter how good or bad it is, it'll always come back if you have people that believe in it hard enough and they're willing to fight for it. And I think to me, and again, I didn't watch the last one, but like the ethos of reggaeton, I think it's that. It's reconquering the culture, but also reconquering the fact that America, like the militarization of America, which is Puerto Rico, was used in the 1990s. And like we see it over and over again in like different pockets of, you know, the country over and over. I don't think this is like in the 90s it happened in like Philly, it happened in so many places in the 70s because of like urban areas and all that. So I think you have a concept of people always try to like preserve their culture, and this is just it's a perfect example of that.
And you're absolutely right with kind of what the ethos is. Another piece just that kind of came out of the last episode was almost to add to your point is a little bit of legacy. Like there was a reference by one of the original like early DJs of reggaeton that I can't remember if he actually says it as like a baseball field, but I pictured the baseball fields that like they even put in the documentary, which was, he's like, it's so amazing to think back to when we were DJing and we were playing, it was this just sandy field.
Yep.
Now we get to sit back in the stands and there's turf and there's inches of turf. And so it was just this like amazing like baseball field analogy to what we came from and what we built. It is actually beautiful to see now this like plush green field where we can just kind of sit back and still hear the influences we had, but be completely in awe of like those carrying on our legacy, and not just them as like a human, like it is an individual legacy, but like Puerto Rico's legacy, reggaeton's legacy, Latina, Latinx legacy, right? I thought that was really nice. And the last, like, so, you know, they have that like baseball field analogy. They get into like Bad Bunny and how he's the future. And literally it was one of the last things that Daddy Yankee says before they close it out. It's just like, what will we do next? And it's just kind of like, the world is our oyster. And like, he says that. And I'm like, Bad Bunny, go.
But I think, you know, in the end, and everybody knows this. I love me a conspiracy theory. I'm like, maybe this was a setup.
Maybe
the whole thing is in 2024.
If Jay-Z was an executive producer on this, I would say yes, because he's behind.
Well, is he?
Shows.
Does it tell me?
No, Daddy Yankee is one of the big executive producers on this. Not to say that they wouldn't do it together, but I did not see Jay-Z's name anywhere. Damn. But it would be. I know, it would be amazing.
Oh my God, that would be amazing.
But yeah, I have to. So I saw Daddy Yankee at Wolf Trap of all places. Like
outside?
Outside.
That is hilarious.
It was the summer. So one of the other things you missed in the last episode was they start alluding to it at the end of the third episode. They open the first 10, 15 minutes of the last episode is Despacito. Which if you think Gasolina put reggaeton on a global scale, Despacito took it to a whole nother level, to the point.
Yeah.
So I saw Daddy Yankee tour, like the tour he was doing was because of Despacito. So this was 2017 when I saw him.
Yeah.
At Wolf Trap, which is like just funny. Like it's not a venue you would imagine like Daddy Yankee going to, but that also just speaks to like Daddy Yankee. And it was so perfect because for an hour and a half, it was just like two of his hype people out on stage, like basically playing every song he's ever been featured in.
That's hilarious.
And like it was one of those things where like, I fucking love Daddy Yankee. We notice clearly, but I forget how many songs he's been featured on, like not just Daddy Yankee songs, but songs he's featured on or remixes that he's been featured on. I mean, it was like, so I have to paint this picture. I was on crutches for this show. This is when my hip had exploded. Yeah. So in my early 30s, I was told I either had to stop running or I would have to have hip surgery. Long story short, I said, fuck that. I'm not having hip surgery in my 30s, so I will stop running. But I also needed the injury that I had at the time to heal. So I'm on crutches for a Daddy Yankee show, which completely went out the window after.
Which is awesome.
So for anyone who is unaware, Wolf Trap is a fucking fantastic venue. It is a national park. It is the only national park in the entire country that is entirely devoted to the arts. It is an outdoor, it's like a half covered, half outdoor lawn music venue.
Yep.
And in the lawn, you can bring whatever you would like to eat and drink. If you want to bring a full glass bottle of tequila, you can bring two. If you want to bring bottles and bottles of wine, if you want to bring a case of beer, bring it. They basically encourage you to come, have a nice picnic, and enjoy the show. And it's the fucking greatest. It's like one of my favorite venues in the world. It's so great. So I'm on crutches. I'm with 8 women and no one is sitting. Like no one in the entire venue is sitting.
Who would, if anybody was sitting, get the fuck out. Like,
I have a broken hip and I'm like standing and dropping it low because tequila is a great painkiller.
It is, isn't it?
it really is. And like the next day I was like, I'm going to regret this so much that tomorrow. And I didn't, because I had so much goddamn fun. So for an hour and a half, his hype people were there just playing every song he's ever been featured in. They had a couple like the music videos up there at the same time. I'm like, he doesn't even need to come out on stage. Like, I'm having such a good time. This is the best party I've been to.
This is the thing that I don't like.
Then he comes out and plays just for an hour and a half. He played all the hits.
That's awesome.
And then, of course, like Gasolina is kind of towards the end, but Despacito was the encore, because that is why.
That was yeah.
And it was so amazing. And so because it's an outdoor venue and it's summer, usually like there's a hard cutoff at 11 because it's in a residential area. And so like if you go over time, like the band gets fined, it's a whole thing. So 11 comes, everybody gets shuffled out of the venue. And then the party continues in the parking lot, where every other car basically pulled out speakers and then played another hour and a half of Daddy Yankee music, where no one is leaving, to the point where the cops had to come to be like, y'all have to leave. I'm like, we're not going to make this a thing. And they didn't, but they were like, you guys got to get the fuck out of here. Like,
yeah, like we can't, like there's too much, like, but like maybe they weren't cool to drive. Maybe they were trying to sober up.
Oh, listen, there's a whole separate saga of how we all had to get home.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was like, how did you get home, man? Is that an episode all by itself?
That might be an episode all on its own, because the husband.
Oh my God.
What about?
Go ahead. Sorry.
Crutches and everything. Is the whole thing. But the husband of one of the women I was with is a very popular radio show host in the area and has his own very, very successful podcast. He ended up telling the story of how we all had to get home on his show because it was just so fucking bananas. Like, it was so funny. It was truly like one of the most fun nights of my life. Because it was just like, it was perfect Daddy Yankee. Like, I would have it no other way. And I'm just gutted that I missed his like farewell tour, because he is now forever and always retired.
Well, maybe we can always have hope. I think we should have hope, everybody.
I know, because I still listen to so much of his music.
You still have hope.
I know. We used to live in an area that was in a very, very, like, we were in the minority. Like, it was a very highly Hispanic populated area of the town we live in. This was at our old house. And my favorite thing was in the spring, you know, you'd start opening the windows, one, to air out like the winter air, but also because it was actually like nice out and not a billion fucking degrees humidity. And like every
I hope you're enjoying this weather though.
Oh, I love it. I mean, I'm not sweating. I love it. And like every spring, once the windows open, you just would start hearing the like every other car that came down the street, and I'm just grooving the whole time. The whole time. It was like one of my
damn girl.
One of my favorite parts of the year. I was like, it's reggaeton spring, y'all.
That's right.
Oh, I love it so much.
But yeah, I think this is a great documentary. If you love music, if you love like kind of understanding how music kind of gets into the community, how a community forms around it, how it
represents communities.
Exactly. And how people use it to like understand each other, which I think is one of the things that why music just connects us all, like in the end. Right. So I think that's what the key thing here is for a lot of people, where it was an outlet for many people, and and they try, outside forces, whatever you'd like to call it, tried to like contain it, tried to censor it. But like in the end, it really didn't work. Right. So yeah. I think that's what people need to always remember, that you'll always have these types of music come up, and like these types of artistic thought processes like emerge. So that's what I really liked about this documentary. I do know that I think for for next episode. We don't have our topic yet, but we do have our doc is in. So I think that's going to be great. But I think we'll probably next episode, let's just talk about the fucking halftime show. Because I feel like, oh no, it won't be. Well, it won't have happened. It won't have happened yet. It was or we should record the day after the Super Bowl.
Okay.
And like do like a live reaction to the show. But yeah, I think, and then American Symphony, the Jean-Baptiste.
Let's do, because I think it would be fun to, I don't know how many big game halftime shows you've watched.
Yeah.
But I can definitely go back and name some of my all-time favorites.
And if Prince isn't one of them, then
it is the number one. It is the number one. Of course. Will forever and always be
the number one.
Yes.
No matter what happens after this.
Let's do that. Let's talk about some of our favorite big game halftime shows.
Yes, let's do that. Yes. I'm done with that. And is it limited to I think we should limit it to sports events. Like, cuz I've seen like other
I was specifically talking like if we want to talk about like Super Bowl halftime shows.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, works out. Let's
keep saying big game because like there's people get Super Bowls technically trademarked and copywritten or whatever, but
okay. Okay, big time.
Big game.
Big game.
Big game.
All right, don't sue us, NFL.
We don't have any money.
Yeah, but you should listen to us regardless.
Yes, we're promoting the big game.
Yeah, we are promoting the big game. The big game is awesome.
Yes, let's talk about some of our favorite halftime shows from that specific sporting event.
For that specific sport event. Love it.
Because I also have one from 1991 that will forever and always be in my top 5.
All right. Well, then I will have to look that up because I do not have that kind of recall on. I don't speak sports, everybody.
I had it taped on VHS and would rewatch it constantly.
I don't speak sports, everybody. And I speak music.
But you do speak boy band.
I do speak boy band. Oh my God. If they re-record the call, I will die. I will die.
I mean, it might be for like a T-Mobile commercial, but
I'm okay. I have T-Mobile. I don't care. Bring back the time. Sorry, this is me referencing to a post that apparently we saw the Backstreet Boys walk out of the T-Mobile headquarters and people thought they heard the call, which is the call. If you haven't listened to it, arguably their best. I know you have thoughts and this might not be right for you, but I think the call is their best song. It's a
great song.
It's such a good song. It just from top to bottom. And I love a lot of Backstreet Boys songs, but that one I will listen to the end of days. And if they do a re-recording of it and it's still it's still a commercial, I don't care.
Maybe it's a big game commercial.
Maybe. And I swear to God, if it is, that's amazing, number one. But bring back the time where commercials were good. I'm okay with that.
It drives me crazy that so many Super Bowl commercials are sent out ahead of time for people to watch. Like,
yes,
all the fun out of actually watching the commercials anymore. I don't want to see them until the Sunday of the game.
Yep.
Because that was, you want to talk about effective advertising. People would actually shut the fuck up and watch all of the commercials because everybody wanted to rate which one was their favorite. Exactly. But now everybody puts them out as like it's on a press tour. Like you see them on the Today Show, you see them on social media now. It's like, check out this super, like, no. I want to see it for the first time on Sunday while I'm eating nachos and scream singing Kendrick Lamar.
Amen. I am down with that. I agree with that. And I think it's a concept of like, and this is another episode, but like instant gratification, right? Like I think people, we should be able to wait. Like I loved how this one, by the way, was like released like week by week. Like it wasn't released all at once. It was released slowly. And I'm like, we need to go back to that. I mean, I get where people are coming from where they're like, want more information and all that. Yeah, but maybe we need transparency in other things than our TV watching.
Yeah. Amen.
And with that, I think we've got to a natural.
Yes, I just need your what the fuck rating.
Yes, my what the fuck rating and it's specifically to the Gasolina piracy issue, like piracy thing. It's an 11. because I was like, yeah, because I was like, what? Because piracy was that's how we heard the song. Like, that's how we listened. That's why we burned our music, friends.
I know.
And yes, Gen Z, look up what burning CDs meant. I'm not going to explain.
You don't actually light them on fire.
We don't. But
there's no fire involved.
We didn't know. We didn't know what magic
were lit. They were lit, to use the parlance of our time.
And a pun.
Exactly. But there was no fire involved. They were fire. They were lit. They were not on fire, nor were they lit on fire.
Okay, also, there is definitely some that are better than others. Because, like, some of, like, it's so interesting because I realize the eclectic nature of my musical tastes on these CDs. I'm like, what? Like, what? Like, there's no structure. There's no order. There's no structure. Martha Stewart would have hated them. I'm not going to finish that quote.
So we'll always agree on that.
Yeah. But all this to say, look it up. But yeah, I just think that was like the moment where it's like, what now? But amazing. Nature finds a way, everybody. It finds a way. And nature finds a way. And with that, thanks everybody for joining us. This was fun. I will watch the last one because I really want to see, I'll watch it before the big game. And yeah, thank you everybody for joining us. And Elaine, take us out.
Stay interesting.